How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Big things are happening right now. We have leaks coming out from China that could cause a bit of a boom, I think, in the market. We also have news that we're pretty much locked in for a 25 basis point rate cut. This is coming from BlackRock here today with Larry Fink saying we are going to get at least one rate cut this year, but we also had some data come in today that looks very promising as well for that rate cut. And some news about Bitcoin. All right, if you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see the next video as soon as it comes out. Like I said, this is the time to be tuning in. You want to hear the news as quickly as possible these days. In the bear market, you can go a few days, tune out if you need to, go on vacation. Now is not the time to do it because now is the time where you need to be agile. You need to be paying attention. You need to know what's going on because things can change so quickly. As I said in my video this morning, the setup looked great, and I've been saying this for months. I've been saying this for a very long time. The four higher highs and then the retest of the prior resistance. And then this morning in my video, I said, we moved all the way up to 71.5 yesterday. And all we did was come down to 70,700. Barely any dip. It's because it's Larry o'clock. As I said in the last video, we don't have to wait long because these ETFs continue to buy up. And now we're at 72,500. I mean, take a look at how close we are to all-time highs. Right now, to go up to 73,000, let's just call it 74,000 even, just to really jump above where we have been in the past is 2%, 2.14%. So not much of a jump at all. If you want to trade, by the way, if you want to trade this market, if you want to play this breakout, or you think we're going to get rejected, there is a link underneath the video to Margex where you can start trading in just a few minutes because there's no KYC and you don't need a VPN to start trading. I've been talking about this and it's done everyone quite well, I'd say, that has done this, that hasn't been too greedy. As you can see, there's only one other time that we got rejected around this level, 72.7, and then the all-time high, 73,800. Keep in mind, there's still a lot of altcoins that are far away from their all-time highs, but Bitcoin just looking extremely bullish. Part of this might be due to the news about China, which we'll get to, but first of all, we did get job openings revisions today. Job openings fell in September and were revised down for August, putting the 3-month average at its lowest level since the reopening in spring of 2021. There were fewer than 1.1 posted job vacancies for every worker counted as unemployed in September. So job openings got revised down. This makes people think, well, the labor market might not be quite as strong, so we do have to have rate cuts. So yeah, now there's a 99.1% probability of a 25 basis point cut in about a week. Keep in mind, we do want the labor market to be strong. We want inflation to be down as well. That's the Goldilocks scenario. That's the best scenario. So hopefully these job openings falling doesn't necessarily mean that the economy is going to perform poorly. We don't want that. We want good jobs numbers. We want lower inflation as well. And hopefully the Fed continues to lower rates. This also changed, it slightly changed the probability for December 18, but as you can see, there's still just about the same chance, 68% chance versus 71% chance that we're going to see maybe another 25 basis point cut after this meeting. So right now the market is pricing in 2 25 basis point cuts. There was also a clip floating around Twitter of Larry Fink saying, and he's the CEO of BlackRock, saying that we're going to see at least 25 basis points throughout the rest of the year. There are a lot of liquidations happening right now in crypto. We continue to move up. Keep in mind, there could be downside volatility too. We're not going to go up forever, but this is very bullish. I think we're in a very bullish situation. That's why we've been moving up so much. That's why I've been so bullish. It seems like everything is trending in the right direction. BlackRock and the other ETFs are just swallowing up a bunch of Bitcoin. We have liquidity coming back into the system. Right now, it looks like the market is betting on a Trump win, which could stimulate the economy, cause more growth, cause more debt, which could cause people to turn to Bitcoin as a way to hedge inflation. Also, it looks like the economy is doing fairly well overall, and it looks like rate cuts are coming. Overall, I think it's a great time to be in Bitcoin also because there are a bunch of companies that are now considering buying Bitcoin. Demand is there. Interest amongst retail investors isn't quite there yet. You can see over the last 7 days, we just started to see a spike. Yes, like last night, us hitting 71,500 caused a spike, but the search volume is only up about 70% from just like a normal night or normal morning. Like, this is not a huge increase. I think people generally seem to search when they wake up. They're like, oh, what happened with Bitcoin last night? And they search for Bitcoin. As you can see here, we're at 100 and we've been at, 60-ish every single day in the last week. So it's not like too much is changing right now in terms of retail interest. Starting to move up a little bit, but not a ton. Now, Rajit Soni, CFA, says 1 Bitcoin is worth more than 100,000 Canadian for the first time ever. So like I said in my last video, we compare Bitcoin to the US dollar a lot because that is a lot of people's preferred currency. But when you compare Bitcoin to other currencies, it's already hitting all-time highs. Bitcoin dominance is moving up too. We're within spitting distance of 60%. You can see here we're at 59.94%. Looks like we may be hitting 60% here very soon. Now, part of the reason Bitcoin could be moving up today, besides all the other stuff that I talked about, China apparently is considering over a $1.4 trillion debt package over the next few years. And apologize for the dog barking. I'm sure she'll be done in a second. But apparently, this is getting leaked today. China is considering approving next week the issuance of over 10 trillion won, or 1.4 trillion in extra debt in the next few years to revive its fragile economy. A fiscal package which is expected to be further bolstered if Donald Trump wins the U.S. election. This is according to 2 sources with knowledge on the matter. China's top legislative body, the Standing Committee on the National People's Congress, is looking to approve the fresh fiscal package, including 6 trillion won that could be partially raised via special sovereign bonds on the last day of a meeting to be held November 4th through November 8th. Interesting. They're doing this right after the U.S. elections, right after the next Fed decision. Now, this is going to be raised over 3 years, the $6 trillion. And I feel like this is coming pretty soon after we heard about the other China stimulus. It wasn't too long ago, I'd say probably within the last month, that there was a lot of news over about a 1 week period of other China stimulus, from stimulus checks for people in poverty to giving companies money to basically issue stock buybacks. They're stimulating a lot. And you have to remember, too, the world is just going into more and more debt all the time. The U.S. is close to $36 trillion in debt. And just a few days ago, we went up $30 billion in debt in 1 day. China is at about $15 trillion in debt. Japan at $14 trillion. Germany, much less than that, 3.4. UK, 3.8. The public debt to GDP, though, for all these countries is around 80 to 300%. Okay? There's a reason why Japan keeps their rates very low, because imagine the public debt to GDP being at 300% and them having high interest rates. They would not be able to pay the interest on those notes. So the fact is, yes, while the U.S. government has a debt to GDP of 89%, a lot of countries are worse off. So that's why people are turning to Bitcoin, in my opinion, at least one of the reasons. Now, people turning to Bitcoin also causes a lot of traders to want to get in on Bitcoin. It also causes a lot of shorters, a lot of people that are short Bitcoin to get destroyed. And the price goes up. The only thing is, you have to remember, there's a finite supply. So when a lot of people want in, they have to pay very high prices. They have to pay higher and higher prices very exponentially, because there's not going to be any increase in supply. This is not gold. If gold went up to $5,000 an ounce today, there are a lot of people that would start looking for gold, or would increase operations, would pour money into mining operations for gold. And there are a lot of things that might be cost effective then that aren't cost effective now. Well, I guarantee you right now that if Bitcoin goes up in value, there are going to be more miners, but they're mining the same amount of Bitcoin. Right? There's nothing they can do to get more Bitcoin besides pay more. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Again, just a beautiful setup. Like I've been saying this for the last year, basically. I don't think fundamentally we could have any better setup for Bitcoin, and everything has played out pretty much perfectly. And now from a technical standpoint, it looks extremely bullish. Now, maybe we get rejected at 74,000. Maybe something happens in an election that the market just hates, and then we turbo dump down. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But it could. So make sure you know what you're doing out there, especially if you're using leverage. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know what you think about Bitcoin right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, check out the links underneath the video to Margex. I have multiple videos talking about different strategies too. Just look up My Financial Friend leverage trading strategy, and some videos will come up. There's various skill levels too, from beginner to more strategic, advanced strategies. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one.